Welcome, my little couch potatoes, to the comfiest courtroom on the internet. I'm your host, Lava, and it's time for dramatic testimony, overruled objections, and absolutely unqualified opinions. So grab your snuggiest blanket, some delicious snacks, and get ready to watch court with your internet besties. This is Couch Court with Llama.
We bring the jury.
Hello, everybody. Happy Fu Kong Friday.
It
Yay.
is Fu Kong Friday.
We made it. My favorite day of the week. It's always crazy on Fu Kong Friday. And today, I think, might be a crazy day. In case you've been living under a rock for a while and you know nothing about the Laura Owens case, today is settlement conference day. Is Laura going to take the plea deal or not? Is what's going to be decided later this afternoon. I think the conference is at like 5:30 my time. It's I don't know. We got some thoughts, you guys, because things are kind of weird. Pure speculation, of course, but one, we heard that Law and Crime is going to be there, so that's an interesting situation. And very interesting. Of all the developments, this one is the one that got me like, what are you doing there?
Why would Law and Crime be there?
Why would Law and Crime be there? We know because we watch trials all the time, and we know when Law and Crime usually shows up. And this is not a case that, while they filed initially to be there as media, they really haven't been back because nothing's really happened. And so apparently Law and Crime is supposed to be there today, which is interesting. And apparently they're going to have their media there and a thing afterwards, I guess. I don't know. Does it mean, I don't know if it means something, but just in our, experience, they show up when something big is happening.
What's your speculation?
I think she's taking the plea deal. That's what I think. I do think that because now there are some cases where Law and Crime are at every single hearing. All right. But this is not one of those cases. This is not one that they have been following really, since the beginning. They're not even at all of Karen Reed's stuff. All right. So for them to be like, oh, we're going. What is that about? First and foremost. Maybe she hasn't taken it, but it's kind of weird in our book because, her side. Hi, Paul. Hello. Oh, you found the case through us? Oh, well, that's great. Happy to have you, Paul. Wait, are you our Australian friend? Sorry, I know I have a few Australian friends. Hi, Mary Smith. Good morning to you. So I found that news rather interesting. Then we also heard through the grapevine that there are some content creators, some OG ones from the case, who are all going to this conference, which is also interesting. Now, maybe they all just wanted to get together and hang out because they missed each other since the Echard trial. I don't know. But I thought, well, when I first, because we heard that news first, we were like, well, that's kind of weird. Why would everybody be traveling there when, it's August in Arizona and none of us wanted the trial in August because it would suck. I don't know. I am not in that phone chat group thing. But I just thought that was really interesting last night. But then when I saw Law and Crime was going to be there today, I was like, what is really happening over there? That's very interesting.
Alert, alert. My spidey sense is tingling.
My spidey senses are very, very tingly. Now, it could be nothing. It could be a nothing burger. Honestly, neither one of us thought she was going to take a plea deal because it's kind of trash.
Well, that's not entirely
yours was different.
I did.
You go ahead.
I did bet a case of Alani's last night.
That's true. You did bet a case.
We had a friendly wager in our group chat over what we thought was going to happen, and I did bet a case of Alani's. That was the bet on the table for me. That it was going to be a partial plea.
Yeah, that's right. You did say it was gonna be she's gonna plead guilty to some things, but go to trial on the others. And I guess maybe that could still be the case. Um, but also usually when you accept a plea deal, right, the sentencing for it is a different day. It's usually not the same day.
Usually.
Could be. I don't remember how Arizona does it though. Every state is different. Some will do it right then and there and be like, oh, especially if the victims are already there, which Clayton and Greg are rumored and probably going to be there because they were at the last one. So
I guarantee I have a big if everybody at Law and Crime, all the content creators, all the originals are gonna be well, we'll see them in the footage. I guarantee it.
what's going on? What's going on in Phoenix, Arizona today? We can't wait.
Somebody knows.
It is a crazy case, Paul. So again, that hearing is not until 5:30 Eastern, my time, because it's 3 hours behind us. So, and I don't know because I haven't even checked YouTube today because I sat here and then I saw that and I was like, I don't know if LawTube's going to be streaming it live or not. Usually in the Arizona trials and cases that we've watched before, there's usually a delay in Arizona. You remember Lori Vallow, like her stuff was all like 30 minutes behind and whatnot. So I don't
But
know.
Devin wasn't.
Devin was in Nevada.
Oh, that's right.
She was in Las Vegas. So
That's right.
that's not the
Right.
same place. I'm trying to think who else.
Same time
Wasn't
zone. That's why I was there.
I know, right? Wasn't the Russ trial was delayed too, wasn't it? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
So we'll see. Blue Hair Cam says they so badly want her to go to trial and lose terribly and get prison time. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna be pissed if she takes this plea deal. I'm gonna be real mad because we're finally getting to like her felony charges next week. Finally. And I mean, it still doesn't take listen, y'all, even if she takes this plea deal, this is not the end of the saga. I mean, she is still fighting an appeal for Mike Maricini's DVRO, let alone who knows what Uncle Sam might decide come, way of the federal government.
That's true.
So I don't necessarily think that even if she takes it today, that this is going to be the end of it. And if she does take it today, fully, all of it, and they do a sentencing a different day, she can also change her mind. And we've seen that happen.
Oh yeah.
As we just talked about Devin Michaels from Las Vegas, Nevada, who was on trial for murder. She took a plea deal and was pleading guilty during the sentencing, right? Because they ask all the defendants that take a plea deal, like, are you doing this willingly? Blah, 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 blah. And she started crying and saying, no, like I felt forced to take this. I am innocent, blah, 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 blah. And right then and there, the prosecutor's like, all right, well, Your Honor, we're going to trial because you can't, if a defendant is wavering in any sense like that, it's the trial it goes. You can't have a defendant waffling, right? For their rights and things.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
then it would almost be in the state's best interest to sentence her the same day that she pleads.
Yeah. So even, I mean, that's the thing with, I know a lot of you haven't watched trials in their entirety and so many of those. Listen, nothing is certain until papers are signed. Okay. Period. It doesn't matter if somebody's like 100% yes, you got to wait until those papers are signed, stamped in the docket. And then you can be like, oh, okay, it's over. Because that's the
It's
one
kind of
thing
like
about
buying a house. Nothing is
yeah,
certain till those papers are signed.
exactly. And that is the way it goes. So Say Cheese thinks that the plea withdrawal attempt is definitely going to be her move. I mean, doesn't make any sense to me.
It's just her MO.
So, yeah. Have we listened to the new Love Trapped episode this week?
I did not.
I did not get time to watch it listen to it last night, but I am going to this weekend. I did hear it was about some of the bankruptcy stuff. Greg Woodnick was did an interview for it, which is also interesting. A new episode dropped this week, and Stephanie's going to be at the hearing, I heard today. So that's a lot of weird things have happened in the last few days that just make me go,
Things that
what's
make you
really
go.
going on? So we'll see. If it comes out tonight and it's a big deal, prepare yourselves. You'll probably see Buffy and I tonight. If it's like, holy shit, she took the plea deal. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell, all of those things. If it's not that specifically, but it's still a long one and we have stuff we want to talk about, we'll be on tomorrow afternoon. So
just keep an eye out. We might
keep an
just
eye
say,
out.
it's Friday. We'll just go get a
Okay.
couple of beers, a glass of wine. I don't know.
We'll have a party tonight.
We'll have a party. We don't know. We'll tailgate.
Right? I mean, it is
It's
Friday. Would it
Friday.
be a Friday if Llama wasn't drinking? I don't
It
know.
would be a Friday if you didn't stream hot for like 10 hours after a live stream and then
Yeah.
decide, oh, let's do this.
Let's do it.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad.
Let's invite all of our friends, everybody. Let's have
I
a
know.
party, Buffy.
That was fun. I like parties. Parties are fun.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we don't know. We know nothing. All right. We are not in the phone tree of calls.
But if you would like to add us, I'll give you my phone number.
That's right.
A phone number. I'll give you a Google Voice number.
So we'll see. What do you guys think? And Chad, do you think she's taking it today? Do you think she's not? Do you think she's partially going to take some of them? What are you drinking today? Is that the grape one?
This is the purple cotton candy.
What did you think about? What's purple mean? Is it grape?
There's grape. And I'm an avid not grape person. We've had this discussion. Don't do grape. Tastes like medicine. This isn't bad. This tastes more like the cosmic stardust than it does the cotton candy, in my opinion.
So maybe they mix them together.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
Because it has a very similar, it's kind of got the best of both worlds going on in this.
Okay.
I actually hate anything grape flavored. To me,
me too.
Tastes like Dimetapp every time I drink it.
Like childhood trauma.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, happy birthday to your son, Say Cheese. Happy 26th birthday.
26.
Little Say Cheese, not so little Say Cheese, I suppose.
It's a big cheese. See
it's
a big cheese.
No? Look at us.
Okay, I'll go home.
It's Friday. It's Fukong Friday. You don't believe she'll be admitting she lied. And that's the thing, too. So, also, there's going to be not every plea deal makes you basically like give a proffer, right? Where you like, yes, you say I'm guilty of these things, but you don't have to say anything else on top of it, right? Some do. Personally, I think if you're going to be offered a plea deal, that should probably happen. And one of the most well-known recent examples, if any of you watched it, was the Brian Koberger sentencing. He didn't have to say shit, which pisses me off about that deal. It really, really, really does. That he didn't have to explain anything, why he did anything. And no, it's not mandatory, but it's certainly been done in the past. I've seen cases where that's been done, that if you don't want the death penalty, then we will give you life, we'll offer you that deal, but you're going to tell us all the shit. We've done that in cases here in Ohio. So if you did watch the sentencing of Brian Koberger, he did it. He just said, the judge was like, do you plead guilty? And he's like, yes. Do you plead guilty to this? Yes. And that's it. He didn't have to say anything else. And so I guess that could be what happens here too, if she can say I'm guilty. But even though I could see the wheels in her brain being like, well, I pled guilty, but that doesn't mean I lied. Because they don't have Alford pleas in Arizona, which an Alford plea, some states have this, some states don't. Arizona does not. It means that you can take that plea. You are not pleading guilty, but what you are pleading to the Alford plea is that the state has enough evidence to convict you, but you're not saying you did it. just that, you'd probably, get found guilty. But Arizona does not have that, so that's not even on the table. But that mindset, I could see her being like, "Yeah, they just had a bunch of stuff and blah, 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 blah," and come up with whatever. So we'll see. Courts would grind to a halt if pleas required a proffer. That's fair. Fair, fair, say cheese. Very fair. The resources and everything are already tight at the courthouses as it is. So fair. But I'm still upset about the Branco burger one.
No, I
Uh,
think he should. I think he owed it. They owed it to the families because well, that's my opinion, is they screwed the families over by taking the plea deal or offering the plea deal or whatever without
mhm.
even like really consulting with them. And the least they could have gotten was some closure for the families. That
Yeah.
was more than just yes, 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 guilt,
Mhm.
and then that's all he said.
Yeah. Dan Montana says she'll have to say something at sentencing because she'll want to explain why she doesn't belong in jail. Well, that's her lawyer's job. They're gonna, if hypothetically she takes and she's sentenced to, like, you're allowed as a defendant to like say something, right?
Well,
To
they
plead
would
or
have
beg for mercy or
mitigating,
whatever. But
yeah, they'll have like mitigating witnesses and stuff like that. Her plea to like
yeah, so
at her sentencing hearing to try to reduce the sentence. But she doesn't have to talk at all if she doesn't want
no.
to. The attorney can do all of the talking for her. That's why
Well,
you
except for
have
the
an
judge
attorney.
questions,
Well, other
except for
than the
those
yes or
basic.
no, are you
Mhm.
agreeing? But like to argue her case as to why she needs a lower sentence or whatever, she doesn't have to say anything. She can just sit there.
I mean, I don't know. I'm so nervous now. It's such a big day. So maybe she will post something
I hope
today. I don't know.
everybody gets the outcome that they want. I'm hoping for a trial.
And me too. I really, really want a trial because, we're nosy and I want to watch it happen.
I want to watch
you
it.
know, I love
I
watching
want. I
trials.
want.
They're very
I
interesting.
want to watch them
Mhm.
lay it all out there in front of her face.
Yeah.
There's no time limits in criminal court, so it's not like we get to speed run it. They can take their
Mhm.
time.
And I see, so like, this is what also angers me about the plea deal. And listen, I do understand plea deals are usually offered to just about everyone in court. Like they really are, right? Because again, there's not all these resources for everybody to be going to trial all of the time. There just isn't. That's just the reality of things. But I feel like for someone like her to have it all laid out for the public, for her, might stop some of her possible future games that she goes to try to do if she does. Because I don't think she's gonna stop doing things to mess with people, you know? Because she never has done that. She's never learned anything, it seems like. But that way her bag of tricks is all laid before her. And she to show her she's not as fucking clever as she thinks she is, because that's what you have to do with those people. Is be like, no, you think you're the smartest person in the world, and no, you're the dumbest fucking person in the world. And I want to see her face through all of that. But also because trials are very fun and interesting to watch. And there's always like no trial is the same. So there's always stuff to learn, right? There's a lot of stuff in this that I would want to learn testimony we've never heard before by people, so I don't know. But she would take this away from us. She would. She doesn't want JFC, watching every day and all of that. So I don't know. We'll see. She knows what evidence they have. She created most of it on thin air. Yes, but also, the rest of us need to know. But we'll see. Anyway, so what are we doing today? We are continuing on the timeline of 2024 with the more David vlogs. You guys have been toughing it out with us, and we really do appreciate that because it's been rough. I don't think we're going to wrap up 2024 today, but we're very, very close. And I do have a hard out at like 1 today. I have insurance adjuster people coming. Just not happy, or I'm very annoyed by that. So hopefully it's not going to be like too disruptive of our streaming, but I won't know until they come and decide, what all needs to be done to our house from those storms we got a few weeks ago. So we'll see. But anyway, you want to hear all of our fake evidence get destroyed in court and make a fool of her? Me too. That's what I'm saying, Blue Hair Camp. Me too. Me too. Like, we all know it's bullshit. But I want people to say to her face, this is why this is bullshit. This is why this is bullshit. This is why this is, and just over and over and over again for like 2 weeks. It would bring me so much joy. Has Laura Owens ever been pregnant? We don't know for sure, but as people who have been pregnant, my theory is no. She's never been pregnant because she doesn't know the first thing about early stages of pregnancy and how it all works. So I don't think that she has any idea.
In my opinion, no.
I don't think she's ever been pregnant. I don't think if she ever did get pregnant, she had an abortion because she got that stuff all wrong. I don't think she's ever gotten pregnant and had a miscarriage because she gotten that all wrong. She's gotten many, and that's why, I think a lot of us were really quick to be like, we don't believe you, because there are some things that are universally like the same for everyone, pretty much, when they get pregnant. And there are things when you are a high risk pregnancy that is very like standard. Like, that's just how it is. And none of her things that she claimed she did or went to go see, none of that adds up. Because once you've been through it one time, it's not, we've been getting pregnant for, tens of thousands of years. So how she came up with some of this stuff that doesn't make any sense, I don't understand. But I don't think she has. So, oh yeah, that's true, Dan Montana. Yes, the little to no fetal DNA strongly suggests she's never been pregnant. Never, ever, never. Yeah, a lot of things add up that I don't think she ever has experienced it. Because like I said, once you go through one, I mean, each pregnancy is different, even for the woman, right? But there are just some things that no matter what are the same. So, and definitely none of those ever happened. So, all right. Well, let's get into, I did this thing. So Google now lets you put all your tabs on like the vertical, and you can make them small so they go away. But now my brain doesn't understand how it all works. Anyway.
That's okay. My brain doesn't understand how any of it works. So
it's not even different, but it feels different.
I didn't even know the way it worked before.
That's true. And that is
I
true.
am the biggest dummy when it comes to learning how to do. I don't do spreadsheets. I do pieces of paper and pencil.
That's true. That's true. You do.
Oh, I do. I have notes everywhere.
Oh, I don't do that as much anymore because I learned I'm too, like, when I write things, right? If I mess up, rip it out and throw it away. Forget about it. Like, it was not conducive for me. I've gotten
You
better.
killed too many trees.
For real. All right, so let's get back to the timeline of events here. So today we are starting with December 10th, 2024, another Gingras blog titled Update December 10th, 2024. Was Laura pregnant? 100% not clickbait. So now you understand the thumbnail. Those are David's words, not ours, but we'll see. We'll see if it's clickbaity or not, I guess.
I have been accused of the clickbait title.
Hey, There's a
I
game, and
don't
we have
make
to play it,
clickbait titles. They're all toward what we're saying. They're just interesting.
right? Or, they just don't come up until later. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's
not right away. All right. So let's get into the David vlog of today. So, all right. Good morning, YouTube. It is David Gingras on Tuesday, the 10th of December, 2024. Welcome back to my channel. Sort of a channel, not really a channel, even though
What
it
is
is
it,
a channel.
David?
Okay. Right. What is it? What is it, David? I made the mistake yesterday of posting a video kind of early in the morning. I recorded it, I think around 10 a.m. or something like that. And whenever I uploaded it, it went up. I made the mistake of doing that because I missed all of the commentary. Now, yesterday afternoon, I noticed pretty much every JFC YouTube channel was talking about me. They were talking about you, David. I said
Nobody talks about you,
yesterday
David.
a couple of things. Number one, I know why they're doing this because it's just about money, I think.
Oh my God, you're so obsessed with money.
That's true. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with the money. I think it's also interesting that, like, David, I don't know. And we weren't around, like, with covering this case when in real time, right? We were not around in 2024,
I don't think
but
so. I was alive, but I wasn't in this
we were
community.
alive, but we weren't in this world. I wasn't even streaming yet, right? Was I? Oh, by fall? Yeah, I think I was on like KO a few times. Um, but I do know that the people that were around, a reason why a lot of people got into this case and felt so passionately about everything was because of the amount of Laura's stolen valor trauma that she took from all groups of people. And that's why people have hung on to it and are really pissed and really into getting justice and exposing Laura. It's not just about the money. All right. Because we don't make any money, but I can tell you right now, that's my reason for being into this is to get justice for the victims, future victims, and for everything that she used to manipulate people, which were horrific things to lie about. And I know that's where a lot of people's passion in this case comes from, is from what she by taking our stories and our experiences and one butchering them because that's not even how it usually happens, but we just find it like disgusting. I mean, if you can make some money, cool, but that's not actually most people's motivations for this. So, hi, elbow feed. Does Dingus work for free with the possible exception of Low? Oh, he said he got paid, but it's fine because he passed the bar
He
twice.
charges
So,
$400 an hour. I don't know why
mhm,
he's counting everybody else's money.
right, bro, come on, come on. Don't act like and it's always those kind of attitudes where like, listen, I don't care if people have monetized channels, if they make money off things. What I don't like though are grifters. Don't like them. It's very obvious when they, start drama or they get very clickbaity or they're, doing lies to get more money from people. Do not like that. All right. But that's not what was going on here at the time.
The
That is
sad
not
fishing. Did you call it
what
sad fishing?
sad fishing. Oh, is that the new term for it? Sad fishing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, crying on the stream and like talking about how their roof is falling in and their cats have no legs and
Right. Because I'm all about like, yeah, you can, talk about things that are happening in your life and stuff. But trust me, if you've ever run across those channels, you know exactly the kind of people I'm referring to. Those people, no, do not like them. They take advantage of people so they can get their money. But I don't feel like the reporting on this case that was being done at the time between, and I'm sorry, I don't know who all had a channel at the time, but I know Dave did, Megan Fox, we know Lauren, Nighty did, Omar did. Um, that they are not in that category of people because I went back and I watched their old stuff and it was a lot of reporting, you know, which is not the same. But a lot goes in to doing a show. Well, a lot goes into it if you want to do it right and responsibly. You read documents and information. Put it all together. You know how many hours a week I work? At least 80 hours a week. Anywhere 60 to 80 hours a week. Period. Like when I'm not streaming, I'm always working on putting things together. Ask Buffy. I'm always working. And I mean, I don't really make any money right now, but
She's not even exaggerating. I wish
no.
she was being I wish she was being hyperbolic. She is absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, people are putting work and energy into things, so I don't have a problem with people getting made, and it is or making money. Like, yeah, okay. Elbow feet. Yeah, she's always working. It's true. Hi, Jack. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's all remember Lo said she was making tens of thousands of dollars out of a self-help podcast. How altruistic, right? I don't even understand how they were making that kind of money on that garbage, but they were. But yeah, like I mean, self-help. Don't even get me started on self-help stuff, Jack. Don't even get me started. Dale
Also,
Carnegie.
elbow feet, thank you for your sacrifice.
That's true. Elbow feet's the real MVP. He has to deal with me. Or, Anyway, so back to this. So, but yesterday was blowing up, going on and on about me. And I guess the podcast lady, somebody I don't know, somebody I've never spoken to, who apparently hates my guts, is threatening to sue me, filed a bar complaint against me, and filed a bar complaint against me. What I would consider not normal behavior for a person that you've never talked to. I think he's talking about the PS Creative Studios. I think that's who he's talking about. And my crime was I tweeted when people asked, why aren't David and Laura released this interview that we shot at this podcast place? Laura asked me to tell people the audio was no good. That's what Laura told me. And I tweeted that. That's what she wanted people to know. I don't think the audio was no good. I don't think so at all. Right? Her mom got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. Her dad just had conversations with people, which is basically what YouTubers do. And it was making like $1 million a year. But those pesky YouTubers, how dare they? So wrong of us. Now, if the podcast lady, oh, I'm sorry, that's not right. Then it turns out, oh, well, maybe there's some other audio that's better. Oh, wow. Okay. So that deserves all the attention that yesterday generated. I don't know. To me, it's kind of a non issue. If the podcast lady wants to sue me, I'm a First Amendment lawyer. I've litigated tons of defamation cases in my life. First, I'm not concerned whatsoever. And secondly, you ever heard the word counterclaim? Mm. Sitting on air and reading a bar complaint earns you a counterclaim. How does that earn somebody a counterclaim? When
I
you're
was just about to
reading
say the same
a court
thing.
document. Is that
Uh,
not a privileged conversation or a privileged opinion? Which many of you are going to learn what that means when I do my defamation video to prepare for Karen Reed. But that seems like a privileged comment. So I don't see how that works out, but I forgot. He's a First Amendment lawyer, Buffy. Who are we? What are we now?
We're just little girls.
We're just little girls with little microphones wanting to make money on YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. That would just be an incredible waste of time for us to be suing each other. But if you wanted to go to battle against me because you have some JFC axe to grind, okay. I guess some people just don't have better things to do. Oh, speaking of which, this particular prop back here is not meant to be any sort of threat. Oh, is this the guy? Is this why he got kicked off of YouTube? No, because he has more videos after this. He has like several more months of videos in 2025. But I think it is. I think it's a gun. Okay. Uh, I was up early this morning. I
How are
had
there not screenshots of it if it was? I feel like people would have screenshotted that, not just downloaded the
mm,
videos.
oh, there might be somewhere. There might be in that Discord server. I don't know. We'll need to ask some of them over there and be like, so, what's going on with this? Anyway, so I was up early this morning. I had an 8 o'clock a.m. Zoom call, and as some people know, the Owens versus Echard bachelor paternity scandal case is not my only lawsuit that I'm dealing with. He is a very big deal, guys. He's very busy. I have a client who is involved in a weird case in federal court in Florida involving 3D printed guns. I had an 8 a.m. Zoom call this morning about that case. Very interesting. No, I'm not going to talk about it too much right now, but a very interesting development. They arrested the shooter in New York City who killed the United Healthcare CEO. And this guy was apparently carrying a 3D printed gun, or at least a 3D printed suppressor. So it's definitely a gun. It's definitely that. Remember, it's not a silencer. Maybe he could have advised Laura to printed baby. Oh gosh, she would like have one of those. What are those real life babies called? Not real life
Oh
babies.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I could
That's
see her using
creepy.
those
There
for
was a girl
nefarious
that did
reasons.
that.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of people that use them, but I could see her
No,
just
I
being.
mean, she did it to fake being a mom. Like she had the
Mm.
baby, remember that carried around that real baby?
Yeah, was she in like in England or Australia or something?
I know she was
Or was she from
not
here?
here.
But she was on
No, she
TikTok,
wasn't
right?
here. I don't remember. Yeah, I
Somebody
think she
sent us
was.
that case a long time ago, and I remember reading about it like
Yeah, that was
while we've been covering this.
crazy.
Yeah, that's right. And that may have been something to do with our case, directly or indirectly. We're going to find out. Interesting and timely development. Now, you don't think about 3D printing guns, but I happen to have an AR-15 sitting right there. That was just my prop for the Zoom meeting today, so don't read anything into that. No threats implied. Right, right. No threats, but
Okay, then
I'm
why
sure
is
it's
it still
intimidating.
there? Take it down. Like if it
Right?
means nothing and, I don't want you to misinterpret anything, why would you leave it there? Get
Mhm.
up and move it.
Exactly. Exactly. Hi, Amos. We miss you. My God, we went like 48 hours without talking to Amos, and it's weird. I almost had to call a search party last night. Anyway, happy to see you, Amy. All right. Anyway, I wanted to briefly summarize a couple of things that I saw yesterday after I had already done my video. Omar, number one. Omar is a guy who I have had almost no interaction with. And then for some reason, he is obsessed with sitting online and just trash talking me, despite the fact I've been nothing but friendly and professional to him. Right. He lied in his initial description. He emailed me some questions, and I sent him a lovely, professional response back. And he says, "Oh, David was so unprofessional because Omar's a liar." David, how dare you call Omar a liar? What? I finally figured that out after watching a few minutes of what he was doing yesterday. Now, I just want to make I watched other people's interviews, uh, things they said about, David, that experienced him during this, very real time. Ones that had phone conversations with David themselves, and pretty much everyone has said David's a dick. Uh, now, somebody being a dick is subjective, right? Not everyone thinks everyone is the same level of being a dick, but that's been pretty much everyone's general consensus. And after reading a lot of his, you know, emails and filings or whatnot, I can see that. I can see that he is very condescending and arrogant in his writing.
I
So I can only
disagree.
imagine on the phone. You just
I just think everybody
misunderstood.
misunderstands him.
That's what he
I think
thinks
he's just
too.
misunderstood.
Yeah, that's what he thinks too. But no, you're right. But that saying when you think everyone's the asshole or something like that, and it's like you're the asshole. Well, I think it's this way. So anyway, Omar, Godspeed to you, man. You're dead to me. Jesus, David.
Oh, wow. That escalated quickly.
Wow. Wow, David. Okay.
But
Omar,
it's not a
Godspeed.
threat with the gun
That's
in the
right.
background, right? Right? That's not
No.
okay.
But this is definitely the video people were telling us about.
It's got to be. It's got to
It
be.
Yes. Yes, because I do remember when we first asked about this many moons ago, because we've been covering this case forever. Somebody had mentioned, I think it was Bruce, that was like, yeah, he did a video where he's talking about Omar and he had some guns out and it was like a whole thing. Um, it has to be this one. It has to be. Oh,
Yeah.
reborn dolls. Yes. Yes. Yeah, right? There's no reason for that. You know exactly what you're doing. I don't care if you have them or not, but even I feel like displaying them, I feel like anybody should just, if you have a gun, be responsible with it, right? And to leave it just carelessly out, come on. It wasn't even careless. You did it on fucking purpose.
It
You
wasn't
even knew that.
careless. It was
Exactly.
carefully placed
Hmm.
within view. And then he makes a statement like that. It's,
Right?
I'm definitely not threatening you. So don't take this as a threat. It's that back talk, I don't know
Hmm.
how to even describe it, but it's where you're saying, I'm not saying,
Exactly.
this, but you clearly know they are saying that.
And if you take it the way that I know you're gonna take it, but I'm saying it's not that way, then it's your fault. It's like, "What? No." What, a gun or a reborn doll? Oh, a gun. Oh, well, if he didn't have a reborn doll. That was a different conversation, I think. Anyway, so Omar, Godspeed to you, man. You're dead to me. I don't care about the trash talking. I do care about the dishonesty. And if you can't cut it in law, maybe you've got a bright YouTube career ahead of you. So good for you. Talk about he has such a problem with dishonesty, and then his client is Laura fucking Owens. Like, what? Okay. I'm just gonna put Omar, he's dead to me. I did see a couple of minutes of Legal Vices, who again is a person who reached out to me, someone I've had no negative interaction with, and this person seems okay. I don't know much about him. He did a 4-hour live stream, I guess, with Megan Fox, which I'm sorry. I can't. Megan is just nails on a chalkboard to me, and I'm sure the feeling is mutual. I don't know why some people just irritate each other. I don't really understand why she causes that reaction in me, probably because she's a woman.
He's just mad
But
he didn't get a friendship bracelet.
he is very upset he did not get friendship bracelets. He is very, very hurt and upset about this, obviously. Where was I? I don't really understand why she causes that reaction in me, but I watched maybe 15 seconds of them and it was worthy of a quick video response. So that's what this is. Oh, so you only watched 15 seconds and then you made a whole video about it.
I
Okay.
don't believe it was a quick one either.
And don't worry, this is 100% not clickbait, but it kind of is. This is kind of one of those drama things I was talking about. Like, what? Why don't you just stick to something of substance instead of all this drama? But whatever. I don't know. Oh, wait. I was watching where she was reading my brief, appellate brief. Why is it worthy of reading that many times? Well, you did say it was going to be a winner, David. You did hype it up a lot and how it was going to overturn everything. But well, You're very confident that it would. Obviously not 100%, but you were very confident in it. So now you're upset that people are reading it a lot. So, okay, okay. Is there anyone this guy does like? Well, I guess he kind of liked legal vices, so there's that. I mean, who didn't? He was a really lovely, nice guy.
He
I don't
liked
think I've heard
Rachel
anything.
Juarez.
Mm.
Juarez. Because he can't
Is-
roll his R's.
Oh, so that's why you kept saying it like that yesterday. Because I was like, do you know how you're pronouncing that, Buffy? Um, but
Can't
okay,
roll his R's.
Juarez. Isn't it Juarez instead of Hora? I don't know. Maybe was I saying it
I
wrong the
said
whole time?
I said
Maybe.
Juarez. Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, on page 1, she was going over it and saying, I said, oh, it's undisputed that Rule 26 wasn't followed in our case. And she sort of cackled. And it's completely disputed. Clayton's going to come back and tell us how disputed it is. That's literally how it sounds in my head when I hear her speak. Oh, I probably should have done something fun with that, but oh well. And it occurred to me as I was watching this sort of, I would just call it, well, I'll be polite. It's a Tuesday morning. Did he call her a see you next Tuesday? Or is it just a Tuesday morning? I don't know. As I was watching this, it occurred to me why the people reading this brief are so lost and confused. A, most of you are not lawyers. B, I've seen not a single Arizona licensed attorney anywhere in this mix. And I know Dave Neal's got an anonymous person who definitely is not Judge Mott's dad sending emails supporting Clayton. Okay. The thing about it is, I am a lawyer. I'm licensed in Arizona. I've been here for a long time. I'm familiar with the rules, and you guys aren't. Do you think that maybe the reason we don't hear from a bunch of Arizona lawyers is because most of them have represented Laura in the past or her family? 'Cause, I'm pretty sure they've hired all attorneys in the state of Arizona. But it goes deeper than that. When Megan was reading my Court of Appeals brief, it occurred to me that when she's flipping through all this stuff, you guys are just looking at these pages, right? And you're like, okay, words, words, words. There's some cases here, words, words, words. This means nothing to you, right? Because this table of authorities here, have you read any of these cases, Megan? No, you haven't. You haven't read a single one of them. I've read every single one of them. Every single one of these cases. That's why it took me, like I said, I estimate maybe 80 hours into this, which is about normal. A couple of weeks, kind of full time. You have to read these cases. You can't just skim through things lightly and then apply some 5-minute Google search, and that has made you an expert in this area of law. Or you talk to somebody whose friend went to law school in Southern California. That's not helpful. Okay. If you really want to understand the arguments, you have to put in the work. I know you're going to say you're not going to, but guess what? I'm going to help you. Isn't he so nice? He's so nice. He's such a nice guy. All the other Arizona lawyers are busy actually lawyering, right? Hello, Bruce and Peachy Teach. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ah, that is wild. He is worked up about this. But that's the thing, right? Like, I don't understand if you don't respect any of these people, David, which you clearly don't. You don't respect anybody covering this case that isn't a lawyer or has a differing opinion than you. If you don't respect anybody, if you don't respect them, then why the fuck do you care what their opinion is? I'm just saying, like, I don't if somebody doesn't respect me, I don't care what their opinion is of me. Why would I let it bother me? If you don't have respect for any of these people, then why do you care what they're saying? Like,
Well, he
who
clearly
cares?
does. He wants to
I
go on their
know.
show. He
So bad.
he feels like I don't know. I don't know how he feels, but it sounds like uh he really wants to be invited in to this
Mhm.
group. Even like I don't know. It comes off like he's mad that like they're not playing nice with him. I'm a lawyer too,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, it very much seems that way. But that's also what happens when like the internet really doesn't like you. He should have stayed off the internet. He should have never written any blog posts about this or taken to X to talk about things. And I don't feel like people would have, wrote him so hard if he didn't say half the shit that he said.
Well,
Um,
it was a lot of
so
he
kind
said
of
a lot of
brought this
stupid
upon
shit.
yourself. Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of
Kind
brought
of
this upon yourself.
like Laura going to the Sun. If she'd have just filed her paternity thing and just like not done all the other stupid shit and just would this be as big of a deal? No. She put all this shit out there, dumped all her documents online, sold everything to the Sun. Like,
Yeah. You kind of flew too close to the sun, David. A Icarus going on here. Yes, Megan said something he said wasn't true, and instead of proving it was true, he's going to rant about how hard he works. It makes sense. It makes lots and lots of sense. But also, if
but
they're
he
just
also
stupid
says he
YouTubers,
doesn't.
what does he
But he
care?
also, in the same sentence yesterday, said he didn't work hard. He does just enough. He's not wasting his time on all the other stuff. He does
He
things
has,
as quickly and as cheap as possible.
that's what he said. Those
That
were
is
his
what he
words.
said.
And by the way, when we do get to Tucson and when we argue this stuff, the Court of Appeals judges, I don't expect a significant number of these cases are just procedural citation type things dealing with the standard of review and stuff like that. Those are not cases that are really important. Okay. I feel like they are, but okay. There are other cases in here that are very important, and the judges in Tucson will have read them, or at the very least, will have had their law clerks write a bench memo summarizing the case and explaining what the case was about. So, just so we're clear, it's okay for an appellate judge to just read somebody else's notes and not actually read the case themselves. But Megan Fox, go fuck yourself and read the entire case, okay? I mean, no, of course, law clerks do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that's very, very funny. So anyway, you've got to get deeper into this stuff than just scratching the surface. And then I'm going to do a live stream for 4 hours talking about something I have no idea about. Oh, by the way, I've also been working on this little project. I'm going to get back to that stream of thought, but I was working on this yesterday because everyone's wanting me to make a video on was Laura pregnant? Well, I started to work on this, and as I saw yesterday's sort of hate fest against me, I had said before, I feel like the correct response is to starve the fire of oxygen, not put more crap out there. So close, David. And here you are, making this video response to the hate fest from the day before. So, really nailing it. You're so close. So close. Because every video I put out produces about a half a dozen JFC responses, right? And
To
that
the
is just,
shock of no one.
no, to the shock of no one saw it. And that is just more fuel, more oxygen to the fire. I don't think that's helping. So I'm going to delete this. Or at the very least, I'm not going to do my video about why Laura was pregnant. You guys don't care. You guys literally don't care about the truth.
He's
Right.
a liar. That was clickbait. The name of this video was Laura pregnant? 100% not clickbait. So this was clickbait.
That is the definition, sir. That is the definition. David's still mad that he wasn't invited to your 11th birthday party. I think Things are not looking great for David's social life now. Hello, Cindy. Short video. The answer was no, she wasn't. It could be a short. It would be the shortest of shorts. I don't think shorts were a thing yet in 2024 on YouTube, but it could easily be a short. You guys don't care. You guys literally don't care about the truth. I've reached out and I've offered to pretty much every JFC YouTube person friendly, hey, if you'd like to talk about this stuff in more detail, I'll talk to you. I'll go on your shows and give you whatever views and thoughts I have to share. Nobody wants to do that. I'll do that, David. Let's do it. What are you doing now? Anything? You probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't go on YouTube channels, but
if you
yeah.
do,
But if you do, let's do it. I own up to the shit I've talked about you, so it's fine. But nobody wants to do that. Why? Huh? Because you don't care about the truth. You only care about your narrative, your Clayton, your side. And it reminds me, and that this is no offense to my friend Mark. I have a friend, Mark, who believes the world is flat. He is a member of the Flat Earth Society or whatever. Oh my God, this is not the same argument, David. This is not the same kind of argument. But okay. Mark, God love him, is absolutely convinced that the world is flat because he goes out and looks at the land and it looks kind of flat. I don't know that he's ever even been to an ocean. He lives in Missouri, but he sees the horizon on the ocean looks kind of flat. He says he can't feel anything moving. So, therefore, it's absurd to think that we're on a ball, a spinning ball wobbling through space. He says it's just not possible. And you're still friends with this Mark guy, David? Come on. Right? Mark's not real. Hi, South Florida. Everybody focus good vibes today for Clayton and his hearings. Yes. And Greg, if he's going, I'm sure Greg is going to go as well. Also, I did see your comment, South Florida, of calling yourself a sweet potato. So I like it. You can be our couch sweet potato if you want. I've now dubbed you the couch sweet potato. You're welcome. Yeah, I don't think Mark's real at all. Anyway, where was I? And when you talk to him, I show Mark's pictures of the globe and other evidence to support the fact that it is a globe. And he just says, no, 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 it's Photoshop. It's all fake. It's called confirmation bias. Oh, okay, David, do explain confirmation bias, please and thank you. Confirmation bias happens when you make up your mind first without keeping an open mind going into any kind of situation. You make up your mind on what you want to believe first, and then you only look for and only accept evidence that supports the belief that you already formed. That's called confirmation bias. Yeah, that is a real thing. Mark has that. Mark, I'm sorry, love you, but he will only accept proof, which is almost all YouTube videos. That's where he gets his proof from. The YouTube videos people
oh
make
my
to explain why the
gosh.
world is flat. He
Oh
hates
my gosh.
YouTube. Hates it for wanting to be on
Wow.
YouTube. So that's interesting.
That's crazy.
Mark probably thinks it's the earth is round, but he wants to repel David. Probably. I forgot I had to take my medicine today. I thought I did, but then I didn't. You're like, that bottle was not turned right side up. That means I didn't take it. Okay. And Mark eats it up. Absolutely believes it. Then you show him some other proof that the world is round, and he just cannot accept it. No, 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 no. JFC is exactly the same. Exactly the same. There's no logic or caring about facts or getting anything accurate in any part of JFC. It's just people are like this. All right. My friend Mark believes the world's flat. JFC believes Clayton's a victim and Laura is a bad person. There are no facts that will ever change anyone's point of view on that. Yeah, because as you just said, David, there are no facts that prove her story is true besides some P tests. And as a woman, no, that is not enough. That is not what happens. Stop the games. But also, we've been diving into other cases, such as the Karen Reed civil trials, which, by the way, make sure you've subscribed to Couch Court with Llama because everything is going to be there soon. But also, all of our Karen Reed coverage is on Couch Court with Llama, and we're going to be getting into the Higgins Albert McCabe versus Reed Turtle Boy defamation lawsuit That's next week. But between that, Bam, the Alec Murdaugh, Sharilla, we've been researching all these cases behind the scenes, putting together all of our stuff to do all of our shows. And I cannot tell you how much I love the JFC community and their organization and Volo and all the best research, putting it all in one place. Like nobody else does it. It doesn't even exist for Murdaugh, you guys. There isn't anything like it. And I just want to say, every day I have to research stuff. I'm like, God damn it. Who can I convince in JFC to do all of this for these other cases? Because it's very time consuming. But that's the thing about JFC, right? Is that well, we'll call it Volo for all the victims or whatever. But everyone that's put in the work has gotten court documents, screen grab. Like they are telling the truth of the story and how it laid out and how you interpret that. That's up to you, right? Like Buff and I try to be fairly we go in and we see what is brought to us. And sometimes we have our minds changed. Like, for example, we're gonna have these Karen Reed civil trials or Alec Murdaugh's getting a new trial, right? Um, Whenever we watch trials together, we go in, even if we know stuff or not, for most of them, uh, we'll determine how it goes based on what's presented in that trial. Not everybody does that. The internet really doesn't do that. But JFC and the community, just the community has put forth so much effort in categorizing and timelines and all of this that of all the groups that are on the internet of cases, this one is actually it's a pretty sane one, I'll be honest. And you don't see that in a lot of other communities at all. They don't even care how things go. And I've had many interesting conversations with people. I don't think everybody agrees on absolutely everything, but it's pretty much all of it, which is a rarity on the internet, David. All right. I don't know how long you've been on the internet before everybody on the internet. She has no side on the internet, David. All right. That is unheard of. Okay. It's unheard of. So, anyway, just shout out to the community because you guys really are. It's amazing what all you guys have done to keep this story going, categorizing it for the victims and everything. It does not exist anywhere else. And I need you guys to do other cases if you don't mind. That'd be great. I'll just give you my spreadsheets.
I will say she'll send you a list.
You would
This
have all
one
my
needs your
spreadsheets
help.
with all the
This
links.
one needs your help.
Because, jeez, Louise. But anyway, sorry. Back to this. There's no logic or caring about facts or getting anything accurate in any part of JFC. It's just people are like this. My friend Mark believes the world's flat, and JFC believes Clayton's a victim and Laura is a bad person. There are no facts that will ever change anyone's point of view on that. If I could go back in a time machine and we could redo a sonogram and maybe have a doctor come and verify Laura's pregnancy, maybe. But even then, I think I'd get the same response that flat earth Mark gives me. Well, I just don't believe it. David, you just said it. Okay, that's why nobody believes your client because those things didn't happen at all. That's everybody's problem with it. And it wasn't just like, oh, I made a mistake. No, it's like it should have been done way before you came in the picture, David. So there's that. Right, Bruce? Why does David think good evidence won't change my mind? That's absurd. I agree.
I'm so shocked that you're allowed to even file for a paternity test without proof of pregnancy
Mm-hmm. Because listen,
or
if she
like
would have went to
paternity
get
agreement or whatever.
if she would have went to get like government benefits of some kind, right? Like I don't know what they call them in Arizona, but like SNAP or WIC. WIC is for pregnant mothers.
To get WIC, I
Or
had to bring
you had
proof
to
of
go to the doctor.
pregnancy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to go to the doctor had to sign. You had to have your appointment. They had to verify the pregnancy. It had to be signed by a doctor. That's what you have to give the government if you need assistance. Why is it not that way for a paternity issue? I don't understand. I really, really don't understand. We have a process, but it's Arizona. I don't know, Buff. I don't know. Maybe they'll change that part of the law because I think it is
I-
probably it's
it-
unfair.
It's extremely problematic that you can just
Mhm.
walk in there and file a paternity suit on anybody without even proof that you're actually carrying a child.
Mhm. Agreed. Agreed. Now where was I? Well, oh, that's fine. That's why we have courts. Well, it was already settled in court, but okay. So it occurs to me that really debating this on social media is getting us nowhere. The only thing that it's doing is getting some money for some untalented YouTubers who have nothing better to do than sit and trash talk people. I'm going to starve it of oxygen. He doesn't. So I'm not going to do a video on why she was pregnant. If I ever do that, if Rachel Mitchell were to charge Laura with something, and I am 100% sure this will not. What is today? Um, isn't there like a settlement, possible plea deal happening today for Laura with some felony charges that David is 100% sure will not happen? She's not going to charge Laura with anything like pregnancy fraud. Laura was never pregnant. There's just no way that would ever be a provable beyond a reasonable doubt unless Rachel Mitchell has evidence I haven't seen. Probably, David. Probably. Because she works for the state. Like, of course. Did you have a search warrant for all your client stuff? No. Or subpoenas? No. Yeah. Yeah, that did not age well. I love that it's today. That's so funny. um, where was I? And unlike the flat earth folks, I have an open mind. If there's evidence that I haven't seen that's important and proves beyond any doubt, or a reasonable doubt anyway, that Laura, about everything, I'm open to hearing it. I would love to. I would want more than anything to have that evidence because I don't want to look like a fool. Yikes. Okay. Right. Well, that did not go well for you. Okay. I know you all already think I'm a fool, but I'm open to being wrong. It's so funny because people out there, you tell them they're wrong and they dig in their heels and they get so angry and so offended. Well,
Oh,
I'm the exact opposite of that. I
that's
love
why
to
I'm making
find
this
out.
video.
That's why I'm making this video.
And that's why you're dead to me, Omar. You're
You're dead to
dead
me.
to me. But I don't get offended and I'm not mad.
Nope. I love to find out that I was wrong because then I've learned something. I'd like
Aw.
to be right, but digging in your heels and just insisting you're right and pounding your fist on the table that you're right doesn't make you right. Oh, David.
Oh,
He's so
yeah.
close, you guys. He's so
So
sometimes,
close.
sometimes we make mistakes. We all do. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. And that leads me to my next point. As Megan Fox was reading through the brief, my appeal brief, it occurs to me that she has basically not even a child level understanding of the law. Oh, okay. So I'm going to help you guys. Don't worry, he's not upset or angry about
Oh
anything.
God.
Yeah, yikes. This is so cringy. Hi, Echoes. Happy Fukong Friday. Hey, if something comes in with this conference late tonight and it's a banger, we should do like a big party. Who wants to do a party stream tonight if she ends up taking this plea deal? You just let me know. And then whoever it is, I'll send you a link if we decide to do that.
Can
So
you send me a link?
I'll send you a link. It's fine. Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I'm so intense about it right now. Damn time. Anyway, so as Megan Fox was reading through this brief, my appeal brief. Oh, wait, no, I started wrong. No, I didn't. It occurs to me that she is basically not even a child level understanding of the law. So I'm going to help you guys. Remember that Rule 26 is this important rule. Oh, Jesus. Everyone thinks, I guess, that Judge Mata is right about it. That Rule 26 doesn't mean what it says. It doesn't actually contain a safe harbor. Whatever. He's not digging in his heels, guys. Okay. The Court of Appeals is going to set that straight for us. But in the meantime, as I mentioned in my appeal brief, if you remember the posture of what happened here, Woodnick early on, I don't know, January 3rd, something like that, filed this Rule 26 motion for sanctions. Now, I didn't come along for 3 months until the end of March. We know, David. We know. Yeah, let's have a party. I agree. Or we can have a party tomorrow. Whatever. Let's have a party this weekend. I went back and checked the homework and wanted to see because, again, this is just any case I would get involved in. I want to make sure people are dotting their I's and crossing their T's. I went back and looked, and the first thing that jumped out to me was the timing. How could Woodnick appear in the case in mid December and then file a sanctions motion the first day of January or January 3rd or whatever? If you know anything about Rule 11 in federal court or in Arizona, there is no way that timing works because you have to meet and confer and you have to wait this waiting period. How could he have done this? So, this was an immediate red flag that jumped out at me. Like, hang on a minute. This timing can't work. So I checked. And of course, Woodnick did not comply with what the rule required him to do. Whether or not he spoke to Laura's former counsel about sanctions, we don't know, because he signed a declaration that just said, I talked to her about something. He didn't explain what. That was December 27th. And the very next day, Laura's former counsel, Lindsay was it, or Lex, I don't know, whatever her name was, filed a motion to dismiss the very next day. But Clayton files his motion for sanctions on January 3rd, and that motion sits there. So when I got involved, I reached out to Woodnick and sent him a Rule 26 complaint demand that said, your Rule 26 motion is frivolous because you didn't comply with the procedures of the rule, and I'm going to move for sanctions against you unless you withdraw it. And then he did. He withdrew his motion, or he filed a request to withdraw his motion for sanctions. I don't know why he did it as a motion to withdraw. You could just withdraw it. But in any event, Judge Mata didn't rule on that request for over a month. Why? Love to ask her. Anyway, I then filed a motion for judgment on the pleadings because I wanted the court to rule on this issue before trial. It theoretically should have precluded a trial from happening because the Rule 26 motion was the only motion that was out there. Anyway, so the motion for judgment on the pleadings. Woodnick, thankfully, about a month before trial, responded and presented some arguments why Laura could still be sanctioned even if his Rule 26 motion was withdrawn. And in here, it's so cute looking back at this. It is, David. It is very cute looking back on this. I'm just saying, I'm having a good time. Are you guys having a good time? It's so cute, isn't it? Woodnick, did he sign this? I just don't know who's writing this stuff. The quality of, yeah, it looks like he signed it. If this is Woodnick's work, I don't believe that it is. I'm guessing a very young lawyer wrote this, and I don't want to pick on anybody, but this looks to me like what a first year law student would write. It has that kind of feel to me. Wait, who's the oh, what's her name that's also on the defense team? It's not Little because that's Karen Reed, and I cannot think of um who's the other person that does this stuff? Who does a lot of the writings? Somebody told
Are you
us.
talking? Not
No, it's
Deandra.
not Deandra. No. Who's the one chat?
I-
I can't even think of her name right now. And I haven't even been drinking. I keep thinking Elizabeth Little, but I know that that's
No, that's-
Isabella Rainey. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Dana. Thank you. Isabella is the one who wrote most of these. I remember when we were giving Woodnick a lot of kudos, which yes, but they were like, yeah, actually, it was Isabel that wrote a lot of these, and I was like, oh, awesome. But notice that it's another woman that he's, putting down.
demeaning.
Demeaning, yeah. It's almost like there's somewhat of a trend there. And I'm not usually into pointing that stuff out, but like, that seems like a pattern of behavior. Anyway, and he'd be like, hello, I hate genders equally. Remember, I said Omar is dead to me. That's even worse. That would be his argument, which, all right, fine. But still. Anyway,
hates
the
everybody.
argument. What was that? Sorry.
I said he just hates everybody.
He does. Anyway, the argument is made that the fact that he's withdrawn his motion is, I guess, not relevant to sanctions. He throws out this case, Holgate versus Baldwin, where he says the court upheld an award of sanctions despite this party not sending a separate notice of their intent to seek Rule 11 sanctions. So he's sort of talking out of both sides of his mouth here. David, have you ever reread anything you've ever written or said? Just because I believe we've said this about you, sir. That you kind of talk out of both sides of your mouth all of the time. But okay. He's saying he's never going to come on and talk to us, obviously. He's saying, on the one hand, I'm going to withdraw my sanctions motion, even though Gingras is wrong. And then he says, but I'm still right about the sanctions. You could still sanction her because Holgate versus Baldwin did not said not sending a separate notice under Rule 11. That's fine. But is that actually what the court said in Holgate? Let's take a little look-sees here. Folks, at the end of the day, I feel like JFC rattles their finger or whatever and gets so fired up at Laura lied. And Dave Neal has a button. She lied. I think we can all agree that lying is not a good thing. No, it's not, David. And I think it's even more serious when lawyers do it. Lawyers have an ethical duty to never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, lie to a court about facts or law for that matter. Your things are slipping. Lawyers are not supposed to lie, and that includes not misleading, not lying about facts, and not misstating the holding of a case. So remember.
So he shouldn't be a clickbait lawyer.
Right. If only the Karen Reed attorneys, if only Diller had known of David Gingras and the real definition of clickbait lawyer over here. Again, if you think the lawyers in Laura were spicy going back and forth, oh boy. Their filings, especially in the Ham v. Reed Turtle Boy that we're going to start covering next week, they hate each other. They hate each other so much, and their filings are they're very catty and sassy to read. And so are some of the hearings. Oh man, when we had that big multiple hearing day that we listened to, it was so funny. They're quite characters. So if you are like, yeah, we need to get into something else, please join us. And it's okay if you don't know anything about Karen Reed. We're there to help. Okay, we're gonna hold your hand through all of it because there's a lot of stuff I don't know. We're gonna rewatch the trials. We're gonna listen to clips, and you don't need to know anything going into this. It'll end up by the end.
Yes.
You will end it just like we did with Laura. We're gonna do the same with this case because
We're clicking every hyperlink in the file.
she knows she saw my
we're
outline,
watching-
and it's true.
I was like, oh, every video that they allude to in their filing, we're gonna watch.
Yes,
And well, that's
you
that
kind of have
portion
to.
of it to see what. Well, you have to because
Yeah,
it's a defamation case.
So, but it's also about First Amendment rights. It's a very big deal. So if you don't really know much about it, make sure you subscribe to Couch Queer with Llama and follow us there. And it's just fine. Plenty of people have not watched the trial that are watching and learning about Karen Reed with us. So you won't be alone. Plenty of room on the couch for the noobs. Anyway, so where was I? So remember, Woodnick, Mr. Gold Standard of Ethics here, said that in Holgate versus Baldwin, the court upheld an award of sanctions despite the parties not sending a separate notice. Is that really what the court said? Let's talk about this case here because this is going to be what the Court of Appeals in Tucson is going to do. They're going to look at what other courts have done. This happens to be a published decision for the Ninth Circuit of Appeals. It's an older one, but these rules don't change much over time, so this is still valid law. It has a little yellow triangle there, but I've double checked it. This is valid, correct, current binding law, binding on federal courts in the Ninth Circuit. So I've asked the Arizona Court of Appeals to look at this as instructive because the federal and Arizona rules are basically the same. And there's tons of case law that says Arizona courts, when they're not a published controlling decision on an issue, will look to the federal courts because there's just a lot more published federal rulings. Isn't that what a lot of states do? Like all of them? But what do I know? I'm just an untalented, arguably famous YouTuber. Brought to you by Alani. New.
Yes, our stream runs on Alani. Our whole
Not yet.
channel runs on Alani.
Oh, it will be for soon. Soon, that's for sure. Anyway, so let's talk about what happened in this Holgate versus Baldwin case. So some guy named Barry Levinson, that's quite a name. What? Sir, there are some other that's not an interesting name, but okay. He's like a movie producer. He appeals a district court's award of sanctions. So Barry Levinson was sanctioned, and the people that were awarded sanctions were Michael Baldwin and Lyndon Newell, Hard Money Inc., and SO Trust, and the Community Bank of Nevada. Hard Money Inc. That's quite a name, David. That is quite a name. In total, the district court, the trial court in federal court, ordered Levinson to pay $112,000 in sanctions. Okay, so here's what the court says. We affirm the district court's award of sanctions to Baldwin. That's just the first guy here, Baldwin, and the Newell defendants, but we reverse the award of sanctions to Community Bank. We reverse the award of sanctions. Well, hang on a second here. Wait a minute. Okay, so gold standard Woodnick, the court upheld an award of sanctions. Hang on a minute now. Whoa, Holgate, come back to me. We reverse the award of sanctions. So they did not uphold the award? I'm sorry, pause here. It's for one group of defendants, but the others still hold. I don't understand his argument already, but okay. So I guess if you really feel strongly about lying to the court like you think Laura has done, well, where's the justice? Let's hold Greg Woodnick responsible, or whoever wrote this crap. Okay? Let's just quickly scroll through this. So the Court of Appeals is explaining here. This appeal centers on the appropriateness of Rule 11 sanctions against an attorney who filed a legally baseless complaint. Got that? That sounds pretty familiar. Although in Laura's case, she didn't have an attorney. So she's being treated as the attorney because she's the person that signed it. You notice he did not correct that her claims were, in fact, not baseless. So that's interesting. Basically, Levinson filed a complaint in federal district court. He alleged federal civil rights and RICO racketeering violations. He said Holgates borrowed $640,000 from Community Bank of Nevada to build their dream home, and the costs ran over. Holgates borrowed after they
Your sound went
defaulted the
out.
trust. Oh no. How long has it been out for? Is it working?
It's working now.
Oh, okay.
Holgates borrowed is the like
Oh,
half
okay.
borrowed. I think it's the
All
last
right.
thing I heard.
So we weren't that far. That's fine. I don't know why I did that. It's annoying. Always something in a stream, isn't it, my friends? I guess that's how you're going to tell that we're not AI in the future. How many technical malfunctions can we have in a stream? Definitely humans running this. He said Holgates borrowed $640,000 from Community Bank of Nevada to build their dream home, and the costs ran over. Holgates borrowed an additional $550,000. And after they defaulted, the trust completed construction. I can't believe somebody borrows that much money to build a house. Nobody gives me any money for any. The Holgates alleged the defendant's actions related to the home financing violated their civil rights. So the Holgates, who are building this house, said the financing violated their civil rights. Okay. In reviewing district court's award of sanctions, we must determine whether each defendant satisfied Rule 11's safe harbor agreement. Remember, the defendants in this case asked for sanctions, kind of like how Clayton asked for sanctions against Laura. So the court here is looking at when each defendant brought their motion for sanctions, did they satisfy the Rule 11 safe harbor requirement? Okay, this is where it gets a little confusing, but you made it seem so straightforward earlier, David. Baldwin, who's one of the defendants, served Levinson with a proposed motion for sanctions. That's what you used to have to do. You used to have to draft an actual motion and serve it on the other side, then wait 21 days. That was a big pain in the ass to do. It was a huge amount of work, and it kind of caused people to waste time. So they've loosened that a little bit. Now you don't have to draft a motion anymore, but you do have to pick up the phone and talk to the other side. And if the phone call doesn't resolve the issue, you then have to send them a written notice that you are going to move for sanctions. You have to explain exactly what that problem is, and it has to be served on them. So Baldwin served Levinson with a motion of sanctions. A month later, he filed his motion. Now, rather than serving, the co-defendants moved to join in their motion for sanctions. Okay. Then Levinson moved to withdraw as counsel due to a conflict of interest. So Levinson is the lawyer. He files the case. Defendants move for sanctions. Then Levinson says, "Let me out of it. I need to go." Now, during the same hearing, the district court cautioned Levinson that it was retaining jurisdiction over him for Rule 11 motions. And then the bank eventually served its own motion for sanctions 6 months later. So then, months down the road, wow, almost a year later, it looks like, the plaintiffs, through new counsel, moved to dismiss their complaint. Okay, so they're kind of like whatever Levinson filed is junk. Now, the district court dismissed the plaintiff's claims, retained jurisdiction over the parties to consider sanctions after dismissal, and the community bank filed its motion for sanctions. All right. So we look at all this. The Court of Appeals says, yeah, the complaint was frivolous. The guy Levinson filed this crappy complaint. All right. So the complaint, garbage. They explain why it's, but that's not important, which usually means it's important, is what I've learned. When he's like, that part's not important. We'll talk about that some other time. Let's not get into it here. Assume for a minute that the complaint Levinson filed just never should have been filed. It was a Rule 11 violation. So then the Court of Appeals is looking at the appropriateness of sanctions awarded to each defendant. They say the fact that Levinson, the lawyer, was allowed to withdraw does not protect him from sanctions. And that's absolutely correct. If you violate the rule and then withdraw as a lawyer, it doesn't mean sanctions can't be awarded. The question is, did the rule get followed? So they talk about the safe harbor here, and the Court of Appeals says we enforce the safe harbor provision strictly. We must reverse the award for sanctions when the challenging party failed to comply with the safe harbor provisions, even when the underlying filing is frivolous. That is key. Even when somebody breaks the rule, you don't get sanctions if you didn't strictly follow the rule. That's been the rule. This is, again, a 20-year-old case. This has been the standard forever. All right? Each defendant who asked for sanctions is addressed separately. The first guy, Baldwin. Levinson admits that Baldwin satisfied the safe harbor provisions of Rule 11. He served a notice. And the trick here was that apparently, remember, Levinson withdrew from the case. And I guess the first motion that Baldwin filed was withdrawn or was dropped. The court denied the initial motion without prejudice and allowed Levinson to withdraw his counsel, retaining jurisdiction. So the motion's filed. Levinson withdraws, and then Baldwin refiled his motion. I guess the argument was, well, hang on. You filed a motion and then you withdrew it and then you refiled. You have to give me another second safe harbor. And the court goes, no, you had one safe harbor. Now, Levinson did not move to withdraw his complaint within the safe harbor. That's all you have to do, guys. You put the offender on notice, you give them the safe harbor. It used to be 21 days. It's now 10 business days. In that window, they can withdraw their complaint. That's the whole point of the threat. Hey, you better withdraw this or we're going to move for sanctions. The offender, Levinson, did not withdraw anything. So the court says, yeah, that's fine. He already got one safe harbor. He got the notice. And this is a great quote. But didn't they file for dismissal before the safe harbor, right? I don't remember. Was it in Admiralty Court? Of course. In maritime as well. This is why nobody goes into maritime law. I'm just kidding. Now, this is a great quote. There's no need to resatisfy it for the second thing. Then they quote the Rule 11 committee notes. These provisions are intended to provide a type of safe harbor against motions in that a party will not be subject to sanctions on the basis of another party's motion unless, after receiving the motion, it refuses to withdraw that position. So that's exactly what our case is about. You have to put somebody on written notice. I am going to ask for sanctions against you. But okay, here's my, and we've read so many things since the beginning of the 2024 year. So Lexi files, when that comes on, Lexi files for dismissal. Then on the 3rd, Woodnick files the motion for sanctions that he's talking about here in the safe harbor, right? But then Corey Keith comes on. But in that time window, I don't think he filed any sort of motion to dismiss. Like, didn't he kind of just like continue on with where the case was going? I don't remember. I don't remember how Corey handled the first 10 days. I'll have to go look at that again. Because I don't remember. Did he file for a dismissal? 2 or anyway, I know he did some like motion to seal stuff, or I think his first filing was trying to get her not to sit for a deposition, if I remember right. Anyway, so that's exactly what our case is about here. You have to put somebody on notice. I'm going to ask for sanctions against you. And now you have a safe harbor period to decide. What do you want to do? Do you want to dig your heels in, or do you want to withdraw your pleading? You can only get sanctions if the person digs their heels in and refuses to withdraw their pleading. Ta-da! Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like what happened in our case? Did Laura dig in her heels and refuse to withdraw her pleading after she was threatened with sanctions? No. The very next day, after Woodnick talked to her lawyer, Laura moved to dismiss within the safe harbor period. We're done at this point. We're done. Anyway, with regard to Baldwin, he gets sanctions dropped because he complied with the rule. The other Newell defendants, they also get sanctions. Community Bank of Nevada does not get sanctions. The court says they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They failed to serve a copy of their written warning on Levinson, so they reversed. So again, you go back here to what Woodnick told the court, that the court upheld an award of sanctions despite the party not sending. Folks, if Judge Mata was a person who cared about the rules, she would have, well, first of all, she would have sanctioned Woodnick for making a false statement about the law, and she would have referred him to the state bar like she did with me. Because what did I do? I waved my hand. I called 911 and I said the daddy thing. Yeah, as you dig into this stuff, you can kind of get a feel for who is on the right side of things and who is not. Oh, David. David. It is a big day. Shan, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. I think we're going to get some interesting news today. I think. I don't know. But I'm nervous about it. What do you guys think in chat? Plea deal? No plea deal? I can't put a poll up over in Couch Court with Mama because we don't have enough subs to be able to do that yet. So if you haven't subscribed to Couch Court with Llama, please do so, because then we can do fun things like polls and super chats and memberships and I think Jewel, all the fun stuff we like to do. So please go do that, because very, very soon we're just going to be on there for Couch Court all of the time. So you don't want to miss this. And yes, Buffy, David needs a journal and a therapist. Yeah. Probably would have been a lot better for his career and cheaper. So there's that. So this discussion of Holgate here, this would never fly in federal court. You would get sanctioned for this. I've asked the state bar because I haven't filed a complaint against Woodnick. The only reason I haven't is because the state bar has previously told me that they will not consider lawyer against lawyer complaints when there's pending litigation. Oh. They have said they have a policy that you have to go to the judge. Did he ever end up filing one against Woodnick? Do we know? Now that case has kind of been over for a while, he probably didn't. Obviously, I can't go to Mata. She won't do anything to help me because she has her own reasons. But I've asked the state bar, hey, since you're making me respond to all these JFC complaints, because they've asked me to respond to pretty much all of them, I think. Well, not all of them. There are some that they haven't. But I've asked the bar guy to tell me, does your policy just not apply to me? Or could I tell you about some things that Woodnick has done? Hmm? Hmm? The bar guy has not gotten back to me about that yet. I wonder why, David, because he doesn't want to be in the middle of it. I probably will wind up bringing this stuff to the attention of the bar because, in my personal opinion, Greg Woodnick is someone who probably should not be practicing law for reasons like this. Because honesty and integrity is not what I have seen from Mr. Woodnick. Oh, okay. I would never make a misrepresentation like this to the court. He did. Was it an oopsie? Was it a I didn't read the case? It's not an excuse, by the way. You have an obligation to read stuff and be accurate about it. Except for you, David, when you're like, well, that was before my time. I didn't bother, reading the case for the client that I'm representing, reading into the history of the case or the hearings and all of that. But okay, sure, David. Anyway, we'll see. Now, one other thing, I'm sure this is going to be fascinating to people. This, again, what I do for a living is read these horrible, I hate these 2-column cases, but this is how they come to us. Reading hundreds and hundreds of cases like this is how you develop an understanding of what the rules are. And that's true. Sitting in your chair like Omar does, never set foot in a federal courthouse because he's not admitted in federal court, because he's not a federal court litigator. Omar is like a kid on the sidelines yelling at Tom Brady, telling him how to throw a football. The shade he is throwing at Omar. David. And you wonder why nobody wants to hang out with you and go to Topgolf. You're feeling no big step to a resolution? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, Dana. All I know is I'm going to be sitting on like pins and needles the whole rest of the day, just waiting and waiting and waiting. Has anybody seen, does Long Crime have a stream up yet for today? Because sometimes they do. And then we know for sure if they're going to be live streaming it or if it's going to be delayed. Because that would be great. Because then we don't have to wait for the footage to be released. Even though, if I remember right, the last time they had the settlement conference, unlike the bankruptcy hearings where we would have to wait days for release, I want to say that like the amazing All the Best in Volo, they got it like that night, like within like an hour. So I do expect we'll be able to see it, but maybe not. You never know. It's the courts. But with Long Crime being there, they'll at least have their footage to release early and they don't have to wait around for the court. So hi, Teresa. Hope you're doing well today. Happy to see you. All right, so he's back to bitching about Omar. Just shut up, man. You don't understand what you're talking about. I do, because I've taken the time to read this stuff. So I'm going to sit and read real quick. This is one of those cases I think is fantastic for us, called Radcliffe versus Rainbow. By the way, names for court cases I do enjoy, because I'm like, ooh, what could this be about? Before opening it. I'm usually never right, by the way. Again, slightly older case, but that's good. It means that it stood the test of time. It's still valid law. This case is pretty darn simple. Plaintiffs enter the construction sites of the defendant, Rainbow. Did you guys think Rainbow was a construction site? Because I didn't. Maybe, I don't know, a daycare or a club or something, but no. So the plaintiffs were going to the defendant's construction site and they refused to depart. Rainbow's president performed a citizen's arrest on all 3 plaintiffs. Okay, that didn't go over well, I bet. Then they were later prosecuted for trespass and then they were acquitted. Know it. They were found not guilty of trespass. So the people who went on to Rainbow's land then sued. They asserted claims for violation of their civil rights and so on and so forth. Now, the district court granted summary judgment for the defendants and assessed sanctions of $75,000 against plaintiffs' attorneys. So the plaintiffs brought a lawsuit against Rainbow and they got sanctioned. The plaintiff, the person that filed the claim, is basically like Laura here, right? They're the ones that started the fight. Why did the court sanction them? Oh, that's interesting. The court sanctioned them $75,000, claiming that whatever their case was just the plaintiffs appealed. So the people who were ordered to pay $75,000 in fees are the same as Laura, although her awards double that. Also, remember too, the burden of proof is lower in civil trials than criminal ones, so maybe that's why. They appealed. So the Ninth Circuit looks at this and says, okay, we reverse the award of Rule 11 sanctions. Why did they do that? What happened in this case is, I think, fascinating because it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing that Judge Mata did. Let's get to this analysis here. They went through and basically talked about some of the same claims, and the court found that the claims were actually not that frivolous. But the final issue we must address involves the district court's award of Rule 11 sanctions. The court awarded the defendant $75,000. The court concluded sanctions were appropriate. They failed to identify allegations that were likely to have evidentiary support. So basically, they made claims in their complaint that were not factually true. Again, sound familiar? And then, without passing judgment on the correctness of that finding, meaning the Court of Appeals doesn't even get into whether or not the underlying complaint was frivolous, we conclude the court abused its discretion in granting sanctions. Now they go back to the strict procedural requirements of the rule. Okay? So to comply with the rule, Rainbow was required to serve its Rule 11 motion. Remember, that used to be the standard. You had to serve it and wait 21 days. We know, David. We know. With a demand for retraction, and then allow the plaintiff 21 days to retract the pleading before filing its motion. So again, the only thing that's changed in Arizona is the time is shortened to 10 business days. This used to be 21 calendar days. And you don't have to serve a motion. You have to serve a written explanation. It makes it a little bit less time consuming because you don't have to draft the actual motion. Rainbow did not follow this procedure. Now, Rainbow filed its Rule 11 motion along with a motion for summary judgment. It did not serve the plaintiffs with a motion in advance of the filing and did not comply with the 21-day service requirement. Now, having not followed this procedure, Rainbow was not entitled to obtain an award of sanctions. So again, not kind of similar, it's identical. Woodnick did not follow what Rule 26 required him to do, and Rainbow did not follow what Rule 11 required. But look at what the district court did. The court concluded that even though the defendants did not give the 21-day notice, a literal application of the safe harbor provisions was unnecessary in this case. The court decided that because Rainbow had filed a Rule 11 motion, blah, 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 the plaintiffs and their attorneys had been given adequate opportunity and notice to withdraw the allegations. Now, as a result, the court ruled that the safe harbor provision had been satisfied, notwithstanding the lack of advance service. And the Court of Appeals goes, nope, you're wrong. Sorry, bud. Informal warnings are not enough. Informal warnings, like Clayton filing an answer or moving to amend his answer to seek sanctions, which I think Clayton always said, oh, sanctions. Laura's lying about things. This is not a written notice that complies with the strict procedural requirements of the rule. I just want to say, for all of you civil attorneys out there, like, mad props to all of you. All of this procedural rule, oh my God, it's exhausting. Because as I've been putting together like all the documents for Karen, oh my God, so many things have to be filed with the things that are filed, and oh my God, you guys. If I had to go into one of the two laws, I don't think torts, civil court would ever be my thing at all. I think I would stick to the criminal side because it is, it's a headache.
This is why David doesn't have friends.
This is why David doesn't have friends. Yes, I concur.
This is the worst.
Yeah.
What is his point?
Other people did it, and it happened.
Who is he arguing to? Who is he trying to convince?
The JFCers, always.
But why? Always. He said he wasn't worried about anybody's opinion but the 3 judges in Tucson. You filed your appeal.
Well, don't worry,
why
puppy.
are we here?
It's not like he's digging his heels in or anything. Come on.
This is so painful.
It is. Don't worry, friends. It's almost done. It's almost
Oh
fun. It's almost done. We're almost there. It's a bright line that is drawn. You have to serve that on the other side to basically wake them up and tell them how serious this is. That didn't happen. Rainbow just kind of blew it. So, in light of our holding, the fact that the plaintiffs had advanced warning that they objected to the allegation did not cure Rainbow's failure to comply with the strict procedural requirements. Um, Hi, Don. Good morning. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry to say, as I've been learning more and more about defamation, you can say David Gingras is an asshole, and that's not defamation. It's not. It's subjective. You can't prove that he is or that he isn't.
I think this
So
is a pretty
that's what I've learned.
popular opinion.
Yes, that's true too. Yes. So don't worry, it's fine.
Judge, we have poll results that say this is accurate and true. So you can't find us. This is not defamation. This is an accurate observation.
I peed on an asshole stick and it came out positive. Who knew? I did it 5 times, Your Honor. It clearly means that how that goes. So anyway, Ninth Circuit said, no, you can't do that. We reject Rainbow's argument that the district court's order can be interpreted as a Rule 11 motion on the court's own initiative. Own initiative is sua sponte. You've seen that term before. And this is a block quote that's in my brief. Oh, did we lose you, Buff? And now you're back? Oh, okay.
Just went bloop.
Oop. We reject Rainbow's contention because it was Rainbow, not the court, that initiated the award for sanctions. Same thing here. Did Mata issue some notice to Laura early on saying, I'm going to sanction you unless you withdraw your pleading? No, Mata never did that because Clayton was the one that was asking for sanctions, not Mata. And so the court says, look, it would render the safe harbor provision meaningless to permit a party's non-compliant motion to be converted automatically into a court-initiated motion because they didn't follow the mandatory service procedure. We reverse the award of sanctions. Folks, that is exactly what is going to happen in this case. It is not. And I appreciate all the creative arguments. Well, there's other ways to get sanctions and so forth. Again, read my brief. David, you just were very upset that people were reading your brief. What do you want them to do? Read it? Not read it? I don't know. I guess you can read it, but don't make a video about it because he doesn't like that. There were no other motions for sanctions. So don't tell me that there could have been a hypothetical motion. Oh, but we didn't file one. But if we had, we would have won. Doesn't work that way, guys. Maybe on TV, maybe on YouTube.
Oh
You
my
think
God.
it worked that way. In the real world, it does not. So I'm beyond confident.
No kidding.
Again, if you want to sit and read all these cases and do all the research, I'm also basing this on 20 plus years of civil litigation experience where I have dealt with this issue in other cases where people jump the gun. They file a Rule 11 motion too early. They don't comply with the procedural requirements. They lose every single time. Now, Clayton is going to lose on this issue because he should lose on this issue. Mata was wrong. And we know that Mata doesn't care. I'm sorry to be disrespectful to her. She was unbelievably disrespectful to me. And I think, like I said, one other update. December 10th. I have still not received anything from the Judicial Conduct Commission saying that the complaint against Mata has been resolved. That tells me that here we are, nearly 6 months later down the road, I guess 5 months. I think they're charging her. That
Oh
would
my
be
God.
my guess. Is they're going to charge her with what I've accused her of? This man has yet to be right about a single.
Well, he has but it's always like
Mm.
the opposite of what he thinks. Like he thinks like everything he says like is really it's like a force. I said it yesterday. It's like he writes his own obituary. Everything he said
Yes.
is really about what happens to him.
Yes. And I really hope so. You know what she should do? Resign from the bench. She could make amends. JFC says, "Oh, well, Laura, if you just come forward and admit your mistake." Mata could do the same thing. She
Oh,
hasn't.
stop.
And this is the irony. If Mata issued an order tomorrow saying, "You know what? I did make a mistake here. I screwed up. I did research I shouldn't have done," the whole appeal would actually be moot. Or at least not the whole appeal, but a large part of it. Laura would automatically be entitled to a new trial. The judgment would be thrown out. The referral to Rachel Mitchell would be gone. I don't think so on that grounds, but okay. A lot of things would happen if Judge Mata did the right thing and came forward and was honest. Okay. That hasn't happened. Because that has not happened, I think maybe she's digging her heels in. And she's the one that's going to wind up paying the price for doing that. I hope so. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Guys, I think moving forward, this is going to be probably my last video for a long, long time. It's not. Like I said, it's oxygen, not a fire. All of that happens when I try to help people understand this case and try to help people understand the law. It just generates hate because haters are gonna hate. That's just what happens.
Did he spell haters right? Because I love it when people spell it hatters. It's my favorite.
He did spell it
Oh,
right.
okay.
He did.
Well, he said it. That was YouTube.
Well, that's true. That's true. I think there's a small number of people out there who are generally neutral, who are interested in the case, who have questions. And I hope they've gotten some value out of my commentary. Now, David, I am
I
well
got
known for my unpopular opinions. No, not here.
no.
For the rest of
You
you
have
all,
no idea what you're talking about.
JFC, you can just live on your flat earth world, and we'll just wait for the Court of Appeals to tell us who's right and who's wrong, because that's what courts are for. YouTube is not the place to debate this. It is a place to share information, except sharing my videos or appeals or things like that. Don't do that. I will share information if I have any to share. For now, I just don't see the value in it. So I'm going to sign off. Probably until even after Clayton's brief comes in. I'm not going to do any videos about it. Forget that. There's
Lies.
no point. You guys can sit. Megan Fox, your legal expertise and brilliance, which is literally like my dead dog, knows more than you do about the law. If you want to sit and opine about this stuff, and if people are dumb enough to watch you, that's just the world, man. Go for it. That's cool. Me, I've got better things to do.
Like,
Oh, there's more. Oh, I thought it was
keep
over. That's how
talking.
he's gonna.
No.
No. I'm going to have a lovely Christmas. I'm going to have a nice New Year. I'm probably gonna take a little trip to California, maybe next week. I got some friends to see out there. My dad lives in Palm Springs, so I can always
Nobody
stop and
cares.
see him. Anyway, guys, keep the temperature low. If you want to file bar complaints, if you want to make angry YouTube videos, if you want to, I won't be watching any of them. I don't care. It's just silly. Silliness. All right. Thanks for watching. Sorry, this was a long one. Sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm going to go walk. I'm going to go walking and have myself a nice Tuesday or whatever day this is, Tuesday or Wednesday. I just lose track of time. It's Tuesday. So see you guys later. Take care. No, bye. No, bye. over it, guys. Don't worry. You did not get under his skin at all. He's not doubling down. Internet. Gosh, he's going to go away. Of course. Of course he is, right?
You would think a
Well,
guy who walks as much as he does would have time for a lot more self-reflection.
you would think so. You would think so. He's such a punk. He's ridiculous, isn't he,
He
Jay? Like,
is
oh my
so
God.
bad.
Ugh. How does David know who hates who? Did they tell him? Right? Whew. And don't get me wrong, like people on the internet say wild shit about you. I know. But like you also just like don't argue back with people. It never works out. He's been on the internet for how long? All right. You don't argue with people on social media. It's a waste of time. And listen, you are never going to change anybody's mind on the internet. Any of you think you can. Okay. Good.
But
You're
he's a
Gingras.
very good lawyer. He can just argue and beat you to death with his point, and you'll eventually just succumb like torture. Like, stop. Okay, make it stop.
Right. Right. Dana says Megan has been following the law for years. Her sister is a very grounded and bright attorney in Maryland. Oh, I didn't know her sister was an attorney. Oh, nice. But either way, I mean, listen, we're not attorneys. Bruce says that, numerous people that cover these things like aren't attorneys, and like that's okay. Are we going to be probably, more wrong? Sure. But I don't. The public should be interested in wanting to interpret these things themselves because, like, that's really important. The transparency is very important. So, do sometimes things get a little out of control? Yeah. Sometimes the public's wrong. Like I said, there are quite a few cases where I have very unpopular opinions, how I think they went, that they differ, and that's okay. But his
But it
arrogance
is like
there.
we said yesterday, though. The lawyers do argue the law, but it's the people like us who don't know anything about the law that ultimately makes the final decision about whether something is, or someone is found
Guilty, not
guilty or
guilty,
not
or
guilty.
yeah. So it's
So
really insulting to people. Now, granted, I will give him that. If I had to go up against the jury in my peers, I would probably be nervous about it. Right? There's a lot of people I've seen their takes on things, and I'm like, that's not at all how that works at all in court, and I do get that is kind of frustrating, right? People think they see stuff on Law and Order and like that's how it plays out. It's like, no, court takes years. Okay. A lawyer would never be able to do that in court. That's not how it works. But I think we should encourage regular people to take an interest in law, take an interest in watching trials, and take an interest in all of those things. People need to be more active in it, in my opinion, and educated on. Because at some point, just about everyone finds themselves in some sort of legal situation, right? It doesn't mean it has to be like super serious, like, criminal crimes, right? It could be a lawsuit.
it's a
It could
criminal fraud.
be, for traffic. It could be, there's many different, it could be for probate court. There's so many different kinds of courts, but each and every one of us in some way is probably going to find ourselves in a courthouse one day. And I think a problem that a lot of people have, for example, let's talk about Clayton representing himself in his first hearing for the injunction against harassment, right? And he did his best. I do think he really did as well as he could for himself, right? But then we all saw what happens afterwards because she had a lawyer, or I'm sorry, yeah, she did have a lawyer for that, and he
Mhm.
didn't at the time because Deandra comes on the second one. But there are just certain things that have to be done, and I think that's why it's important because a lot of people their first time in they can easily get railroaded. Or if it's a type of law where you're not entitled to a defense attorney, like only criminal law are you entitled to one. So, the rest is kind of on you to know a little bit about it. So, He just loves the sound of his own voice. Yes, yes. But yeah, I mean, I learned something new from every case, every trial. Uh, there's lots and lots to learn there. So I think it's very important. And I don't think he should knock people for trying to understand and want to talk about the law themselves. And again, if you don't respect the person talking about it, then what the fuck do you care what their opinion is? I'm just saying. Just saying, David. All right. And she looks so different without her glasses. I guess too without his glasses. Sorry. That's what I do every time B can't find his glasses. Because he cannot see without his glasses. But every time he's like, babe, I need your help. I don't know where I put them down at because, ADHD. And
That is me all the
He
time.
can't see without his glasses.
I put them down. I take them off. I put them down. I don't know where they are. I'm like, can't find my glasses.
Right. But I mean, look at how much we learned from bankruptcy court. I had no idea.
Right.
So, anyway, all right. Well, let's move on to the next one, which is Laura's blog. How about you take that one?
Oh, yay.
We had a break from David to see what dumb shit Laura's gonna post about today, which she probably shouldn't do.
I should not be grateful for a Laura break.
So
this
was December 12th, 2024. So 2 days after Gingras' video. So
I need to do this one?
Yeah, if you don't mind, because I gotta go pee and that was a long
Yeah, I
one.
figured you were talking for a while. I know I did a few times.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on,
Did it share?
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, we got pictures with this one, guys.
Oh. Oh my gosh, what is it? Before I go away, what's she wearing? What is that? Oh, a semicolon. Oh, we're gonna do mental health, suicide aware. Okay. All right.
I do.
All right.
I have a semicolon tattoo.
We know what the well, not everybody knows, but if you know, you know. Semicolon is to represent
suicide awareness and mental
suicide
health.
awareness, that it was a pause. But the statement wasn't finished yet, right? Like, so it was
right.
It's a kind of a
It's not the end of a sentence. It's a
you.
It's a pause. Yes.
Exactly.
It's not
to remind you that it's only temporary.
The story isn't over yet. My tattoo says her story isn't over yet. It has a semicolon at the end. But it's for a loved one. So all right.
Just remember that, friends. All right. Everything's only temporary. Okay. Promise. It's worth coming out the other side. Anyway. Yeah. Go do that. I'm gonna go bathroom and let my dogs out.
Got it. It started with a question, a quiet one, absurd in its simplicity, but it saved my life. Can you take 5 more minutes? When you're in the depths of a hell, forever is a myth. Oh, she's got her beautiful poems of Laura Owens going on here. Okay. Tomorrow is a dream meant for someone stronger, someone not suffocating under the crushing weight of it all. When you're drowning, 5 minutes isn't a lifeline. It's not a solution or a promise that things will improve, but it's not forever either. It's just 5 minutes. It began on September 20th, 2023, though it feels like a lifetime ago. That was the day strangers I'd never met decided I wasn't human anymore. Content creators latched onto my story, my pregnancy, my grief, and twisted it into weapons for clicks and views. Man, we really hate YouTubers. They shaped me into a caricature, a liar, a fraud, someone deserving of scorn. They didn't just tell their version of me. They amplified it until the world believed it. Their version of me spread like wildfire, faster than I could grasp. Every attempt I made to defend myself only fueled the flames. Silence became guilt. They didn't just take my story, they stole pieces of me, leaving behind a shell I didn't recognize. I needed the pain to stop. I kept thinking, how can I get them to stop if they won't listen? How can I make this end? That's when the thoughts began. At first, they came as a whisper, soft but insistent. What if it just ended? Whispers have a way of growing louder as the days dragged on. They became screams, drowning out everything else. It wasn't that I wanted to die. I didn't. I just couldn't figure out how to keep living under the crushing weight of grief, lies, and exploitation. I begged for mercy. I reached out to the main creator behind this relentless campaign, a man who made me the focus of daily videos and podcasts. Please, I said, if I don't survive this, my blood is on your hands. He didn't stop. He still hasn't. And to this day, he continues to profit off of dissecting my life, a total stranger's life. And if it's his right, as if it's his right, overwhelmed and desperate, I made the choice I'll always regret. On October 16th, 2023, I sent him my positive blood HCG pregnancy test results. Clear proof that I was pregnant. But in a moment of panic, I tampered with the results, inflating the numbers in a desperate attempt to make him stop. Can't you see that I'm pregnant? You're destroying me. Please stop. The unaltered results already confirmed the truth. I was pregnant. I wasn't trying to deceive anyone. I was drowning and grasping for relief. The altered test was never submitted to the court. Never. But that desperate act gave others all of the ammunition they needed to attack me further, to twist my panic into a weapon against me. Then I found out that I had miscarried. The loss hit like a brick to the chest, sharp, breath-stealing, absolute. I wanted to grieve, but justice for Clayton decided there was no room for that. Instead, they turned my loss into another story, another excuse to mock me as they accused me of lying about it, twisting my pain into a punchline. I was already shattered, already crushed under the weight of a world that seemed to delight in my suffering. The miscarriage felt like the universe's final cruel confirmation that nothing was left for me but pain. I couldn't see tomorrow. I couldn't even imagine the next hour. And then in the darkest moment, there was a clock. Okay. Oh, okay. A clock. I laid curled on the bathroom floor, tears soaking the tile, staring at the seconds ticking forward. Would this be my last day? Would I let the noise win? And then I thought of my family, the people who would bear the wreckage if I didn't make it. It wasn't their fight, but they would inherit the scars, and I couldn't do that to them. So I asked myself, can you take 5 more minutes? The first 5 minutes felt impossible. My breath came in gasps. My hands shook, but the clock kept moving. When those 5 minutes passed, nothing had changed. The harassment was still there. The grief still hollowed out in my chest. The video still racked up views, but I was still here. So I asked myself again, can you take 5 more minutes? That's how it started. 5 minutes. This just sounds like it's turning into a TED Talk. This sounds like she's writing her next script for her next TED Talk video. This is
100%.
what it sounds like.
100%.
That's what it's giving me, those vibes. All right. So that's how it started. 5 minutes turned into 10, 10 turned into 20, and somehow I made it through the night. And I kept counting the next day and the subsequent days where I felt I could handle another 5 minutes. If you're reading this and you're in that place, the one where the air feels like lead and the weight is unbearable, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you it gets better or feed you hollow words about hope, because when your life is falling apart, those words don't matter. What matters is this: you don't have to figure out tomorrow or even the rest of the day. You just have to figure out how to survive the next 5 minutes. Sit with the clock. Let the seconds carry you forward. And when 5 minutes are up, ask yourself again, can you take 5 more minutes? Oh, 5 more. Just 5 more. From September 20th, 2023 to today, December 12th, 2024, I've survived 129,600 of them. That's how many times I've chosen to stay. If you're part of Justice for Clayton and salivating to pick this apart, sorry, girl. Because I know you will. You've just proven you've never had to break your life down into 5-minute chunks to survive. That's your privilege. Hold it tight. Whisper thank you to it. And then get out of the way of those who are fighting, clawing, and bleeding for every breath, just like I have. If you're a content creator itching to exploit this for clicks, please don't turn this into a video. Just don't.
Oops.
Sorry.
Upstairs. We did.
My
Did.
bad.
We did.
I am reading it. Sorry. I just feel like you're just preparing your next TED Talk. That's what it's giving. It's giving those vibes. And also telling people not to do something is literally just going to make them want to do it more. So this is for the person sitting alone, staring at their screen, typing reasons to stay alive into a search bar because they've run out of hope, just like I did. Did you find it? Did you find it on the internet? No, I'm sure you didn't. This is for the one who doesn't need hollow promises or empty words, but anything to believe there's still a reason to hold on. Guess what? This essay took 5 minutes to read.
Oh,
you just made it through 5 minutes. That means you can make it through 5 more. Just read it again. You've already proven you can. So don't stop. Take another 5, then another. And when you feel like there's nothing left, let this be your reason. Because one day, someone will need to know you survived. Maybe it will be a stranger searching the same desperate words, and your story will be the lifeline they find. Or maybe it'll be someone you love, someone who would feel your absence so deeply it would bury them in the same darkness you're facing now. Think about the people who love you, even if it feels like they don't. The ones who would spend the rest of their lives replaying your last words, rereading your last text, asking themselves why they couldn't save you. The ones who would carry your loss like a weight they'll never put down. Save them from that pain. Save yourself from becoming a story that breaks the people who love you. Stay, even if you don't know why yet. Stay, not because you have it all figured out, but because there's more to discover. Stay, because your story isn't finished yet. Oh, That's cute because that's what my tattoo says. Okay. And the next chapter might hold something you never imagined. Stay, because 5 minutes can change everything, but only if you're here to see it.
Wow. Just 5 minutes though, with intention. With intention. That's important that it's with intention. Listen, I don't think I'm not going to argue that she wasn't depressed during this time. I mean, you got the heat of the internet and the world, possibly facing
No.
felony charges. I don't doubt for 1 second that she's suffering from like depression, anxiety. But what I do have some qualms about it is how she's using all of this, right? So in the beginning of this, she talks about her miscarriage and how awful it is. But again, as somebody who's had one, um, according to her, she's had more than one. And you notice how she doesn't talk about the other times? How she's felt this way every single time that's happened to her? Because that is something that women who have had multiple miscarriage, you don't forget your last one, you know? It doesn't become less painful because you have another one, afterwards. No, they're all equally awful, and you remember the experience of all of them. And she's claimed in other courts that she's had miscarriages. So it's like, girl, I would absolutely like to have sympathy for, anybody that's depressed and feeling those suicidal thoughts. I've been very open with my mental health and being in those positions myself. However, um, you're also not being entirely honest about it. And I think that's important. You're not. You're saying that everybody else is making you feel this way and it's everybody's fault but your own. And like when you're getting help, because you know what? She probably did need some help right then. She sure as fuck needs a therapist and she really needed one then. But, you are responsible in the end for your behavior. All right. And for getting better. And you can't always do that when you're in certain places. It's difficult. It is. I've been there. It's very difficult to ask for help when you are in the depths of despair. It's very hard. Um, but you've done nothing to make your situation better. And as a matter of fact, I read this in a way less about her saying, because the part she says that, hey, like you say these things and it could help somebody else. I mean, that's why I'm very open about my history and my experiences, because it was because of watching YouTube videos and meeting people in chat that really helped me a lot. And I owe everything to that. And yes, talking about it. Maybe as I've shared my experience, it's helping somebody out there that is, going through the same thing and they can see that, yeah, coming out the other side, getting help, doing all of the years of work could, benefit them. But to me, this read like, I'm just going to blame everybody else for all of this. And it's all your guys' fault. And that kind of messaging I am not okay with um, at all, because I find that to be very harmful to the stigma that comes around, suicide and suicide awareness. But that's what I took from her thing. Again, I'm not saying she didn't feel that way, because honestly, if I was in that situation, if I would have had that kind of heat on me as well, yeah, I'd probably be in a very, very bad place. But it's her intention of what she wrote and what she wanted people to really take away from it that I have a problem with. Um, and that's what I don't like about it. So I'm all about, people talking about their experiences. I don't think we should be quiet about suicide and be hush about it. It's a very real thing. It's a very big problem. And I think the more we talk about it, the more, other people are able to talk about it when they're in that moment and be like, yes, it's okay. I understand why some people prefer not to have these conversations, set to each their own. But um, if that was the whole purpose of this, then I'd probably have a different opinion. but that's not how she started it out. And that's not how she did it with Dave Neal. Remember, if something happened to her, it's his fault. Her blood is on his hands. And that's just fucked. All right. It's just really, really fucked to say. And that's when you start to lose it points in respect in my book. So
Yeah,
I think
she's
that's appropriate.
weaponizing it.
Again, another very serious thing that unfortunately so many of us have been through, and she is just weaponizing it and, doing this whole victim thing from it. It's like that, it's really not necessary here. And if her intentions were to just be open about those feelings and like raising awareness and to actually be like, yeah, to have that sort of conversation. But I don't
Well, that's
believe
that's
it.
why she put it out as a blog and not just
Mhm.
wrote it in her journal and went to talk to her therapist or checked herself in somewhere or
Mhm.
like when. I mean,
And she's always done
there
this.
was only one reason to put that out there. I'm not saying people shouldn't talk about it. I just don't feel like that
Mhm.
was the intention behind it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, when we covered Mike Maricini at the very beginning, we saw her weaponizing suicidal ideation or threats of harm to herself against Mike. And she never did anything to actually help herself. She said she was checked into a hospital, but we all know that didn't even her what she said about that doesn't make any sense because those of us that have been there, been kinda like, I don't know about how that checks out." But also, you're weaponizing it, to
I mean,
manipulate and guilt people, and
yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
gross.
I agree with you. I don't see. I can understand. She probably is depressed. I'm sure she's
Mhm.
feeling every bit of one of those feelings. I think she just wanted to let you all know so that y'all could feel like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of saying these things for good, with good intention, which she tried to do at the end, but everything before it takes away from that because that's not what you just said for, like, the previous 4.5 minutes. So, um oh, I'm so sorry, Cindy. Wow. Yes, a lot of people don't like to hear or talk about it. Makes them feel icky, right? But it's very real, and I'm all about being, you know, open with it because that's how you save people is through
Right.
conversations. All right, you're never going to stop. You're never going to stop suicide unless we start having very real conversations and real conversations with people who are having, ideations. It's the only way. So, all right. So it is 12:30, and the next David Gingras blog, because remember he said he was never blogging again. He was done. He was done, you guys. Is the day after Laura's blog. However, it says the timestamp says it's about 53 minutes long, and I have people coming to look at my house, insurance people and whatnot. So I don't really want to get into something long and then have to wait all the way until next week. So I think we're just going to stop here today um, with that, and then we'll. Oh God, it's going to take so long, but we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We are. Oh wait, that's not the right one. I'm going to make sure we finish this next Thursday. I don't care how long I have to stream for. We're getting through
Uh-oh.
2024. So, but yeah, I don't think starting that. We'll just save it
We
for next.
probably could have done without the last blog.
Probably.
That was an hour of talking about Rainbow and Baldwin and
But hey, you remembered the names. Gosh.
I don't care. I
Also,
just
how would we know that Omar is dead to him?
well,
How
this
would
is
we?
true. But also he clickbaited us.
He did. Even said 100% not clickbait, and it's exactly what it was because it had nothing to do with Laura and whether or not she was pregnant. As a matter of fact, he's like, we're not talking about it. Um, so read forever. Get down off the cross, honey. Somebody needs the wood. I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that before.
What? Get down off the cross, honey. Somebody needs the wood.
Is that a Southern saying? You guys in your Southern sayings? Because it sounds like one. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You never heard someone say, get down off your cross, honey. We need the wood.
No, but I love it. I love Southern sayings. You guys are so good at them. And
Yeah,
up
like when
here,
it's raining
yeah.
outside, we're like, it's raining like a cow pissing on a flat rock. Now get that visual in your head.
Like what even are you saying? But no,
You ever
that's
seen a cow pee on a flat rock? The water's coming up. It's everywhere.
oh yeah, I guess that makes. I mean, I haven't sat and watched cows pee that often, but I have seen it happen in person. So it's a lot. Same with horses. It's quite a bit. Now we all know today is settlement conference possible plea deal day. We don't know. We don't know much of anything. It's not going to be until 5:30 Eastern, my time, and then just do an hour back for whatever time zone you're in. I'm not going to do all that math for you. Oh, it was Dolly, as in like Dolly Parton. Oh, I love her. Rest of these Dolly. We say it's a gully washer when it rains
It's a
hard.
gully washer. Here
What's
comes a gully washer.
what's a gully?
Oh God. All right. We're gonna have to buy her an entire like
A
book
book of
on
like
Southern
Southern
saying.
idioms.
I'm gonna find you one. I'm sending one to you. We can have reading hour.
Yeah, we'll do a whole llama learns
You
about the South.
just walk around. Yeah. You don't want to learn about the South. A
uh,
gully washer. A
their
gully
cornbread
washer.
ain't cooked all the way in the middle is my favorite. uh, that's funny. So
Cornbread.
as I was saying, if Long Crime is streaming it live, I guess we'll be back then. If it comes out later tonight and it's like, holy fucking shit, what happened? We'll probably go live tonight, maybe have a party with some of you guys. Or we might be back in the early afternoon tomorrow, probably like noon or something, because we got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff to do this weekend. So
We'll
it's going to be
figure it
early in
out.
the day, but we'll figure it out. And that is why you need to make sure you've subscribed and you've hit that notification bell right now at Couch Court with Llama. So that way you don't miss when we go live, because it could literally be anytime in the next 24 hours. We will be going live again. With what? We don't know. I do think, in case you guys all missed the beginning, it's reported that Long Crime is going to be there. And as avid trial watchers, this has caused us some interesting.
It's
What's
caused us
going
to raise
on?
an eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah, because it's kind of a lot of money to fly out the camera guy. You got to hook everything up. You need the hotel, all this stuff. And this is not a case that Long Crime. I mean, I know that they've done a few like short videos of like summarizing, right? Like Anjanette Levy has, but this is not one of those cases where Long Crime has been there for every hearing. It just isn't. I'm not surprised about that. They did file at the beginning of her felony case, to be media in the courtroom then, but they haven't really been there. That's why we've had, shitty Zoom videos, because they didn't show up to do it. So they're purportedly going to be there today. So that makes me believe that something of interest has been shoved down the pipeline there and gotten out. But I don't know. Could be nothing. I'd be surprised though. For a settlement conference? Again, if this was like her sentencing day or something, like I'd be like, yeah, of course they're going to be there. But why are they showing up for the settlement conference today? Rumor has it they're there, so we'll see. Also, rumor has it that there's a bunch of OGs. Oh, but they might go live tonight. I don't want to go live at the same time they're going live, because then I want to watch them. Oh, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Maybe
I
they'll
would
go
say
on
we'll
live
figure it
later.
out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't want to be live at the same time. Like if because I think Reality Steve is going to be there. I can't remember who else was rumored to, but quite a few people are rumored to go. So yeah, I'll want to watch their stream. So we'll see. Anyway, it's gonna be yeah. I heard he was
I'll
going.
do whatever you want to do.
So I heard other people were, but I don't want to like name drop anybody. I don't know it's a rumor or not. So I don't know. Um, but it's interesting. We'll
Hmm.
see. Do I want her to? No, I want that trial. Damn it, I want it. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, all right, friends. Well, that's all we've got for you today. I hope you all have a lovely Fukong Friday. Like I said, don't forget to check back here in the next 24 hours because we'll probably be live to talk about it, whatever happens. I don't know. So, I'm ready to have a good time because I don't know about you, but I feel like we haven't hung out with anybody in forever.
I know.
Because getting ready for school and all this stupid parent adult stuff we have to do. Hate it. I'm gonna just hang out with our friends. Um, but anyway, I will be back later this afternoon over on True Crime and Wine Time. Terry True Crime and I are getting into Mackenzie Sharilla, which I don't know zippy zap about actually. So you can join us over there. I'll be a little late to the stream because it starts the same time my insurance adjuster person's supposed to be here, but I will be on there right after I'm done. So you can catch me later this afternoon there. And who knows where else I'll be today. So you never know. Fukong Friday Llama. She is a spontaneous. It's a one day a week I'm spontaneous because I am
You're
never
quite the
spontaneous.
social butterfly.
I know, right?
Who would have
But
thunk
anyway,
it?
who would have thunk it, right? Well, thank you all for being with us today. Happy Fukong Friday to you. Hopefully, we'll be back soon with more to talk about.
I know.
But
I'm like, gotta be pacing all day.
I know, right? All day. Refreshing, even though we know it's not until later. But all right, friends, as I always say, until next time, go forth and be amazing. All right? All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.